But anyway, so here's the freaking governor of Texas joining the Tea Party madness and hinting that Texas might secede from the Union if Obama keeps his promise to cut taxes. And again, Texas stands to gain billions from the stimulus plan, millions in tax rebates for its citizens, and they're protesting it, which could only mean two things. Either A, they're insane, the people protesting, which I think you could make a strong argument for that, or B, they are so empty-headed that anything that the right-wing talkers tell them to do, they'll do. If the right-wing talkers on radio said, I want you to put your feet in your mouth and start swallowing yourself, these dumb bastards would try it. They would, whoa. What a lovely idea. But Perry sounds like a man dying of thirst and saying, no, I don't want your damn water. So Perry explains to a reporter why he legitimized this madness in his state with his appearance, and then he answers a question apparently about the reason Department of Homeland Security report that detailed the violent threat posed by right-wing extremist groups, like the people protested there, I guess. Perry called the author of that report a numbskull. Well, Gov, it was authorized. You think, you dumb son of a bitch, the report was authorized by Bush. Oh, okay. Well, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. The only thing you said today that made any sense is that the author of the report is a numbskull. You're right. Not the author, but the person who authorized it. Now, that's from a man standing in front of a crowd of neocon fanatics waving tea bags. and who seriously offers the secession of Texas as a viable option. But the Department of Homeland Security author is a numbskull. Gotcha.
My hope is that America, and Washington in particular, pays attention. We got a great union. There's absolutely no reason to dissolve it. But if Washington continues to thumb their nose at the American people, who knows what may come out of that. So, Texas is a very unique place. And we're a pretty independent lot to boot.
Now that you've pledged your allegiance with the radicalized right-wing extremists, I'm just wondering if you think that we might now be considered an actual terror state.
I don't believe we quite get into that category. I have no idea who that numbskull was that wrote that, but I would suggest to you that you probably can't find them in the Homeland Security Department today. They're probably in deep hiding.
Did you hear in the background why they do the Sieg Heil chant? A good question from the reporter, since this jackass and Colonel Beck and the Karate Kid are suggesting that Texas secede. They've already seceded once. No, not from the United States, from Mexico. They've already seceded once, so are they suggesting another secession? Isn't that an act of terror as written out by George W. Bush? Well, the Bush crime family. Not that I want to legitimize anything Bush ever did, but by definition, Rick Perry now is a terrorist. I say send in the U.S. Marshals, arrest the son of a bitch for acts of sedition against the United States and send him to Guantanamo. Yeah? And by the way, when this dork choke saying that Texas can leave the Union if it wants to, Texas came into the Union with the option of dividing into 5 states because it's so big, but there's nothing in there, regardless of what Perry said about withdrawing. You can't do that. Now, somebody sent me this. After seceding during the Civil War, Texas was allowed to re-enter the Union. Yeah, they declared themselves, I guess, I don't know what, independent during the Civil War. Was that it? While the rest of the country was busy killing each other, the numbskulls in Texas, we're going to secede from the Union. And then they re-entered the Union. How many times are they going to do this? They re-entered the Union after ratifying the 13th Amendment that bans slavery in the United States and any territories subject to its jurisdiction. So they secede from Mexico. They seceded from the United States. Well, not really, but you know. And now Perry, now you know why Sarah Palin talked about the Alaskan Independence Party. You know, she endorsed Goodhair Perry over Kay Bailey Hutchinson in the Republican governor's primary. And that, I don't know. I think it is probably time to break the country into 3 or 4 pieces, move all the idiots into one area. It'd be a lot easier to control them, wouldn't it? Oh my God! Bob in Kentucky writes, "Great, let the blankers secede. Probably a lot of benefits to it happening. The collective IQ of the country would go up a few points. Chuck Norris could become president of Texas. Got to be tons of comedy in that. My only hope is if they do it, the state gets hit by a giant hurricane, and their only hope is government assistance. Sorry, boys, you're on your own." Bob in Kentucky. And then Darby writes, "Mike, let me tell you, as a native Texan who has not stepped foot in my state for several years because of the lunatic fringe that took over, how sad the politicians there make me. I shudder to think what Ann Richards would say now if she saw what has become of our beloved state. I don't know if you know it, but Rove's tactics were used to destroy Governor Richards so Bush could take over the state. Bush left Perry at the helm, and he will be there indefinitely, as Texas has no term limit for governor. Please have compassion for the citizens of Texas. Many fine progressives call this state or have called it their home, such as Molly Ivins and Bill Moyers. Pray for Texans." Well, Jim Hightower is from there too, right? Right, Darby? Yeah, a lot of progressives have come out of Texas. And God knows, I'm certainly, I feel sorry for those people tonight. I really do.